The Christians in Palestine. The first people to adopt Christianity in the land of Christ face an existential threat. In 1900, 11% of the population of Ottoman Palestine, which included present-day Israel, Gaza, and the West Bank, were Christians. That portion has now dropped to about 1.7% as historic Palestine is under Israeli jurisdiction. Churches have been stripped out of their properties, Christians have been harassed, and their living conditions have become unbearable. Despite their attachment to the land, more and more Christians are leaving the Holy Land, the land of Jesus. Bethlehem, Jerusalem, Mount Olive, Jericho, Jacob's Well, where most of the activities of the life of Christ are in danger.
المسيحيون في هذه الأرض المقدسة، سواء كان في القدس أو في بيت لحم أو في غيرها من المدن والبلدات الفلسطينية، إنما هم امتداد للحضور المسيحي العريق منذ أكثر من 2000 عام. بلادنا المقدسة هي الأرض التي منها انطلقت الرسالة المسيحية. هنا الميلاد، هنا القيامة، هنا العنصرة، هنا أهم الأماكن المقدسة المرتبطة بحياة الرب يسوع المسيح الذي أتى إلى هذا العالم لكي ينشر قيم المحبة والأخوة والرحمة والإنسانية. ولذلك فإن المسيحيين الفلسطينيين في هذه الديار المقدسة والمباركة إنما يفتخرون بتاريخهم المجيد، يفتخرون بانتمائهم للكنيسة الأولى، للكنيسة الأم كما يسميها القديس يوحنا الدمشقي. ونتمنى أن يبقى المسيحيون في هذه الديار.
Jerusalem is especially affected. The Holy City is governed by a status quo that goes back to the Ottoman era and governs religious rights in Jerusalem. In 1757, Sultan Osman III issued a firman or decree that preserved the division of ownership and responsibilities of various Christian holy places. Further firmans were issued in 1852 and 1853 affirming that no changes could be made without consensus from all 6 Christian communities. The status quo was further formalized in international law by the Treaty of Berlin in 1878. However, Israel has been deliberately breaking the status quo and infringing on the Christian character of the city to the advantage of the Jewish character. The Armenian Patriarchate of Jerusalem is located in the Old City of Jerusalem, in the Armenian Quarter, which comprises 1/6 of the Old City and occupies the entire southwest corner of the town. The Armenian Patriarch and the Brotherhood of St. James, together with the Greek and Roman Catholic Patriarchs, are the sole guardians of the dominical sites, the holiest shrines of Christendom. The Armenian presence in Jerusalem dates back to early Christian times. From as early as the 4th century, we have records about Armenian monks in the Holy Land. However, the mere existence of the church and its community are at stake. The municipality, under Israeli control, is waging an illegal war against the church for the foreclosure of its properties. The Jerusalem municipality has demanded back taxes on church-owned commercial properties, threatening to auction them off in violation of long-standing agreements. The Jerusalem municipality claims that the Armenian Patriarchate owes the state millions in unpaid taxes. The tax claim of the municipality, which dates back to 1994, are unproven and have no legal proceedings. This crisis is endangering the 1,700-year-old Armenian Christian presence in the city.
The Armenian presence is one of the oldest Christian presence in the Holy Land, especially in Jerusalem. It dates back to the 4th century, a presence, an uninterrupted presence of more than 1,600 years, with churches, with convents, with communities all over the Holy Land, starting from Jerusalem to Jaffa to Haifa to Bethlehem. Our presence mainly is in Jerusalem, where we have our own quarter, which is called the Armenian Quarter. It is the smallest quarter out of the four quarters in the old city of Jerusalem, located on the highest point in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, where you can find all the community and the religious institutions. It shows you the deep presence, the rooted presence of the Armenians, of Armenian Christians in Jerusalem, where after adopting Christianity in 301, Armenians started to come to the Holy Land as pilgrims and build what is called today the Armenian Quarter and the Armenian presence.
The Greek Orthodox Patriarchate of Jerusalem is also in danger. The Patriarchate was established in 451 with the decision of the Council of Chalcedon to elevate the Church of Jerusalem to the rank of Patriarchate. The Greek Orthodox Church is the second largest landowner in Israel and Palestine. It owns around 30% of Jerusalem's walled old city, the city's historic core, and controls the largest stake of any Christian denomination in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, home to the traditional tomb of Jesus. But in recent years, Israeli and Jewish businessmen, fronted by companies registered in far-flung tax havens, have been acquiring the church property that are diminishing year after year. Edirei Kohanim, a Jewish settler group, has been using shell companies to make fraudulent transactions and acquire Palestinian-owned properties in strategic locations in Jerusalem to increase Jewish control in the city. The group acquired Hotel Imperial, Petra Hotel, and Muzamia House in the Christian quarter for minimal amounts. The church tried to annul the sale as it was illegal. However, the Israeli court sided with the Israeli buyer. Israeli authorities bullied the church into accepting to renew the lease of a land to the Jewish National Fund for a low amount. The Israeli court ordered the church to pay millions of dollars in damages to the Jewish National Fund, even threatening expropriation of a Greek Orthodox monastery property. In addition to these fraudulent transactions, the church has been bullied into to avoid Israeli harassment. In 2018, the mayor of Jerusalem revoked the tax-exempt status of any building not being used for prayer.
Alongside of this, of course, there's a lot of difficulties. For example, just not a long time ago, the Jerusalem municipality and other municipalities wanted to tax these churches. These are churches, and they come with all sorts of reasons why we should tax you. Not all your property is used for the church, not all your property is used for prayer, but the whole property is owned actually by a church.
Israel takes these unlawful measures to make sure the church has no income to support its activities. To add to that, recently the municipality unilaterally froze the Greek Orthodox Church bank accounts. Israeli transgressions have also extended to the Mount of Olives, the place from which Jesus ascended to heaven, a site of pilgrimage and one of the holiest sites of Christianity. The Mount of Olives is under threat. In early 2025, the Israel Nature and Parks Authority, INPE, proposed expanding the Jerusalem Walls National Park by 68 acres to include parts of the Mount of Olives. This would allow Israel to put its hand on one of the holiest sites in Christianity and disrupt the long-standing status quo. Christians were alarmed. The different Christian denominations, including Armenian, Greek Orthodox churches, sent a letter to the Minister of Israel, Environmental Protection, expressing their grave concern. Organizations like Alad, a settler association, have been involved in developing tourism and archaeological projects in the area to strengthen Jewish presence and claims in East Jerusalem. Churches and Christian cemeteries have been the target of attacks by Israeli zealots. Those attacks have increased over the years with the rise of the extreme right in the country. There have been multiple documented incidents of desecration and harassment targeting Christian churches, cemeteries, clergy, and worshipers in Jerusalem and the occupied. These acts are often attributed to extremist Israeli settlers or individuals. The Israeli fanatics have been increasingly practicing their habit, which is to spit on Christian clergy.
Christians in Jerusalem many times as a clergy, myself or other priests or other nuns are spat on because they're Christians, just by the means of wearing a collar or wearing a cross. Sometimes you are being harassed in Jerusalem by, sadly speaking, by fanatic, fundamental Israelis, whatever you want to call it, and you feel the state is not protecting you. Many years ago, my own church in Jerusalem, the Christian and Missionary Alliance Church in West Jerusalem, was attacked, firebombed.
هذه أمور كلها محزنة ومؤسفة، ولكنها لا تخيفنا. نحن لا نخاف من إهاناتهم ومن شتائمهم ومن بصقهم علينا، بالعكس، عندما يهينوننا ويبصقون علينا نحن نتذكر الرب يسوع المسيح الذي وهو على الصليب أهانوه وطعنوه وبصقوا عليه، وسمع منهم الشتائم والكلمات البذيئة، ولكن كانت كلماته الخالدات: يا أبتاه اغفر لهم لأنهم لا يعرفون ماذا يفعلون.
In other occasions, not a long time ago in 2023, early on, there was a huge vandalism on the Anglican Episcopalian cemetery in Mount Zion, where many tombs were attacked, broken, the crosses were broken, and they say they caught the attacker, but God knows what happened to him. So it is an increased pressure by, maybe some will call them isolated events, but as they are one after another, seeing that neither the state or the police is actually going after the attackers and those perpetrators, then it just adds on a pressure on the Christians, on our existential presence in the country. And this adds salt to injury to the whole process of surviving as Christian in the Holy Land.
Israel is preventing the manifestation of Christian festivities. During Easter celebrations in April 2025, Israeli authorities imposed strict limitations on Christian worshipers. Only 4,000 permits were issued for Palestinian Christians from the West Bank, a fraction of the usual number. Those who managed to reach Jerusalem faced aggressive policing, threats, and violence, including increased incidents of police brutality and attacks by ultra-nationalist Jewish settlers. Israel is after the Christians in their churches and their homes, in their villages. After raising Lazarus from the dead, the Lord Jesus no longer walked about in public among the Jews, but he left for the region near the desert to a town called Ephraim. John 11:54. Ephraim is today known as Taybeh. Taybeh is a fully Christian village, the only fully Christian village in the West Bank. Today, the residents of Taybeh fear for their lives as settler violence has increased in an attempt to drive them away from their homes. The Israeli authorities have been abetting those settlers' attacks. The Christians of Taybeh are forbidden from accessing 3/4 of the 2,400 hectares that span the village. They have been banned from harvesting their own olive trees in those areas. The settlers have burned homes, cars, the historical church, and have grazed their livestock. On July 8, 2025, Israeli settlers have set fires in Taybeh's St. George Greek Orthodox Church and Cemetery and essential crops, and instilled fear among residents. Taybeh is only fully Christian village in the West Bank. Israel is trying to erase the Christian character of the Holy Land.
اللي صار إنه الساعة 2 بالليل تقريباً 2:03 قبل أو بعد 5 دقايق، تفاصيل بالضبط مش دقيقة في الرقم، ولكن سمعت صوت إشي بينفجر. أول مرة، تاني مرة، ثالث مرة كنت مفكر إنه صواريخ أو انفجار اللي هي المضادات في الأجواء في الجو كذا وهاي الأمور. بس لما زادت الأمور آخر انفجار كان صوته كتير قوي، طلعت لأشوف إيش اللي قاعد بيصير. شفت من فوق الباب بالأزاز هاد، شفت الحمار كله اللي برا، فكرت إنه هالقد قريب. طلعت من الشباك الجانبي شفت سيارتي مولعة، ما كنت بعرف شو الأسباب حتى.
Garius is a resident of Taybeh. He was attacked by settlers as they burned his car. He and his family barely escaped death.
لحظات خوف كتير كبيرة عشناها. الدخان الأسود كله كان يدخل من الشبابيك، بطلنا يعني حتى مع الارتباك وحالة الخوف اللي كنا عايشينها ما تداركنا إنه بنفس اللحظة في اللحظة الأولى بدنا نسكر الشبابيك. ثانيا حتى لو سكرنا الشبابيك كانت كمية الدخان الأسود اللي جوا البيت كافية إنها تخنقنا لو انحشرنا في وقت أكتر. كمان الحمد لله إنه قدرنا نطلع من البيت نحمي ننفذ بأرواحنا وبحياتنا زي ما بيقولوها، ونقدر نكون برا البيت وحاميين نفسنا.
The assault on Gaza has not spared Christians. 5.5% of the Christians of Gaza have been killed by Israel, 23 of them while sheltering in churches.
وفي ظل ما تشهده غزة من حرب إبادة، أنا أود أن أضيء على ما يحدث حاليا في غزة. عندنا كنيستان، الكنيسة الأرثوذكسية والكنيسة اللاتينية، والأديرة المحيطة بها والمؤسسات المسيحية المحيطة بها من مدارس وسواها. كنيسة القديس بورفيريوس هي كنيسة تاريخية يعود بناؤها للقرن الرابع للميلاد، هي من أقدم وأعرق الكنائس، وكذلك كنيسة العائلة المقدسة. وقد احتضنت هاتان الكنيستان النازحين واللاجئين المسيحيين وغيرهم أيضا الذين لجأوا إلى الأديرة وإلى الكنائس خلال الحرب.
Israel has bombed the third oldest church in the world. It continuously bombs the Catholic Church where people are taking refuge.
نحن حقيقة في هذه الأوقات العصيبة عندنا مطلب أساسي وعندنا رسالة أساسية في هذه الأوقات، هي أننا ننادي بأن تتوقف الحرب في غزة. هذا النزيف يجب أن يتوقف، هذه المعاناة يجب أن تتوقف. نحن ككنيسة وكمسيحيين لم نكن في يوم من الأيام دعاة حروب وعنف وقتل وانتقام. كنا دائما وما زلنا وسنبقى دعاة سلام، ولكن السلام الحقيقي يبنى على العدالة. بغياب العدالة لا يمكن أن يكون هنالك سلام.
The Christian existence is in danger. Israel policies towards Christians are becoming more and more brutal and oppressive.
المسيحيون في هذه الديار ليسوا طائفة أو جالية أو أقلية معزولة عن السياق الوطني أو السياق الفلسطيني. نحن وإن كنا قلة في عددنا بسبب ما ألم بنا، إلا أننا مكون أساسي من مكونات الشعب الفلسطيني، ونحن نفتخر بذلك. وما يتعرض له الفلسطينيون جميعا نتعرض له نحن أيضا، باعتبارنا جزء ومكون أساسي من مكونات هذا الشعب.
Not only Christians are being harassed, their mere existence is being denied. The government does not recognize the existence of an evangelical denomination.
Well, while a lot of evangelicals around the world still support Israel, it's sad, the sad reality on the ground that the state of Israel does not yet recognize the evangelical church as an official denomination in Israel. And this has been going for a long time. The evangelical churches have been in the country, some of them even since the late 19th century. Take, for example, my own church, which was established in 1890. It was recognized by the Ottomans, by the Jordanians, and sadly, since the creation of the State of Israel and then the taking over of all the country by Israel, they have not recognized them officially as a denomination.
Israel does not want you to hear the Christian voice.
أنا أعتقد بأن الاحتلال ينزعج كثيرا من الصوت المسيحي المنادي بالعدالة. انزعجوا من زيارة البطريركان، بطريرك الروم الأرثوذكس وبطريرك اللاتين لغزة، وانزعجوا أكثر من المؤتمر الصحفي الذي عقد في النوتردام في اليوم التالي لعودتهم، حيث تحدثوا وبصريح العبارة عن مأساة غزة ومعاناتها، ونادوا بوقف حرب الإبادة.
There is a systematic effort by Israel's ultra-right government in collaboration with the settler movement to remove the Christian character of the Holy Land.
You know, all the Christians in Jerusalem, like I said earlier, feel an existential threat to remain in Jerusalem. Like most Palestinians, you know, they're treated like everyone else, but in a way, because of our small number, we don't even mount to 8,000 or more in Jerusalem among 900,000 people. So just feel that when you're feeling like a minority, that that you are kept pressed on by a lot of angles, I would say, and especially that you feel that the government that is ruling over your city, over Jerusalem, is not giving you a chance to grow, is not giving you a chance to move on, is not giving chances to our children to move on in their lives with their faith, with their even with their careers. It just presses on for people to think to leave the country. And this is why it is hard for me as a leader, as a Christian leader in Jerusalem and in the Holy Land, to feel somehow that in the future this country might not have even Christians left.
And as a community, and as not only the Armenian community, but as a Christian community as a whole in Jerusalem, we are not fighting. We are already reached the stage of surviving, trying to overcome the daily challenges and daily difficulties as Christian communities, starting from the taxations imposed on the churches by the state of Israel, which put in danger the schools, the community institutions, the religious institutions of the patriarchates and churches in the Holy Land that were functioning for decades.
ونتمنى أن يبقى المسيحيون في هذه الديار. الحروب، انعدام الأمن، انعدام الاستقرار، انعدام العدالة والسلام، كل هذه العوامل مجتمعة أدت إلى تراجع أعداد المسيحيين، ولكن ما نتمنى أن يبقى المسيحيون، من بقي من مسيحيين، أن يبقوا في ديارهم، لأننا لا نريد أن تتحول كنائسنا وأماكننا المقدسة إلى متاحف يؤمها الزوار والحجاج من مختلف أرجاء العالم.
وبنتمنى بأنه العالم يتطلع لنا، يشوفنا، يحمينا، يحقق لنا السلام اللي احنا بنستحقه زي ما هو العالم بيستحقوا لهذا السلام.
Christians feel estranged from their own land and need your help now.